Good morning. We're continuing our series on 12 weeks and 12 promises from God. And this week I want to talk about the promise God gives us that He promises His peace, which I find to be very significant in a time, which it seems like every time is a time and a season where there's a lack of peace in our world. But I was reading an article and I was reading this story about a gentleman who he was looking for the perfect picture of peace. And so he sent out all over the place for people to, artists, to draw and make paintings that would give this imagery of the perfect peace. And so they received tons and tons of submissions from all over the world. And when they finally started to look at all of the pieces, the crowd was at awe over every art painting that they opened. But none of them seemed to capture perfect peace. And it came down to these last two before they ended up making a decision. I'm going to share with you what it says. This judge pulled the cover from one, and a hush fell over the crowd. It was a mirror-smooth lake, reflected lacy green birches under the soft blush of the evening sky. Along the grassy shore, a flock of sheep grazed, undisturbed. Surely this was the winner. The man with the vision uncovered the second painting himself, and the crowd gasped in surprise. Could this be peace? It was a tumultuous waterfall, cascaded down a rocky precipice. The crowd could almost feel its cold, penetrating spray. Stormy gray clouds threatened to explode with lightning, wind, and rain. In the midst of the thundering noise and bitter chill, a spindly tree clung to the rocks at the edge of the falls. One of its branches reached out in front of the torrential waters as if to foolishly seek to experience its full power. A little bird had built a nest in the elbow of that branch. Content and undisturbed in her stormy surroundings, she rested on her eggs. With her eyes closed and her wings ready to cover her little ones, she manifested peace that transcends all earthly turmoil. That was the one that they had selected. What a thought. There are two sayings that I looked up that come from sources that we don't know. But the first one was that safety consists not in the absence of danger, but in the presence of God. And the second one says that peace that Jesus gives is not the absence of trouble, but rather the confidence that He is there with you always. John 14:27 actually says this. It says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful." This promise of peace that comes from God, it doesn't say it's a peace that's absent of trouble. He doesn't say, hey, all of your trouble is going to go away and then you're going to have peace. What He actually says is, like that bird on that branch, in the midst of the trouble all around you, I will give you peace. And His peace is very much so connected to the first promise we talked about, which is His presence. When He is present in our lives, we can find peace even when it doesn't make sense. Maybe you've experienced that peace a time or two. You shouldn't be at peace right now, but you are. That is God's peace that comes from His presence. This week, my question for you remains, where are you finding your peace right now? Is your peace in a balanced bank account? Is your peace in a job security? Is your peace in the stock market? Is your peace determined by if the world is at peace? Or is your peace coming from the presence of God that says, just like that bird that could rest on her nest in safety and security while the branch shook like crazy, it comes because God's presence in your life gives you peace even when you face trouble. Let me encourage you that this week, even if you're facing trouble, the real peace that you need, it comes from presence with God, and He promises that peace for you. And if this has encouraged you this week, may you share that with somebody else and just remind them of where their peace can come from as well. May God bless you.